Hey guys, it's Stephanie with Festive Creations by Stephanie. We are going to be making a wreath kit tonight. I inspire and teach people how to make beautiful things, as well as teach them how to grow their online business. And let's talk about this wreath kit. So in the kit, you get a frame, a 15-inch elevated work frame. You get the 12-inch metal sign. You get a roll of 10.5 inch by 10 yards of mesh, our poly jute metallic mesh. You get 3 rolls of ribbon, the 2.5 and the 2 1.5, and you get one of these fun pink swirls. How stinking cute. So we're going to put it together my way. All right, so I'm going to start just by getting our wreath frame ready. Let's take our sign and turn it over and get it. So I like to use the DAP Rapid Fuse. This sign has 2 holes drilled in the top and the bottom. However, I'm going to add 2 additional points. You don't have to do this. It actually, by securing it at the top and the bottom, typically does the trick, but I like a little extra in there. So I'm just going to insert a pipe cleaner. So I added 2 cable tie mounts and secured those with the DAP Rapid Fuse. So we're going to start by cutting our mesh. Let me set our little swirls aside. And what I typically do for this when I use 1 roll of this is I'll cut 20-inch strips because we're going to do some ruffles. Even if you are brand new at making wreaths, this is one of the simplest methods for a beginner to learn. And so I'll just cut 20 inches. I'm going to throw that on the floor because that's what I do. All right, 20-inch strips. That should be exactly 18 strips. So you'll need 18 20-inch strips. You may have a little mesh left over. That's okay. Not all rolls are cut the exact same, so sometimes there is going to be a little bit left over. And what we're going to do is take one of those 20-inch strips, and we're going to lay it out on the mat with the curl side down. All right, so we are just simply going to make a ruffle. I'm taking my fingers right up the center, and I'm going to create this ruffle. It's kind of curling down, and so I'm going to take the curl side down, and I'm going to place it horizontally into our ties and give those ties a couple of good tight turns. One little hint, y'all, is get your mesh as close to the wreath frame as possible. If you leave a gap between where the mesh is and you start twisting, it will actually cause your ruffle to loosen up over time, and it'll look a little wonky. So if you get your mesh as close to the wreath frame and tie that twist tie as close to the wreath frame, it will give you a more solid, neat look. All right, so we're just going to take our fingers and walk right up the center of this, creating our ruffle. And pinch, create a ruffle. Place it in one of the twist ties, and I'm just going to go all the way around. All right, look at that. So that was 1 roll of 10-inch mesh. So this is that poly jute metallic mesh that comes in the kit. All right, so now we're going to take our sign. Now on these, I'm just going to insert a pipe cleaner into the pre-drilled holes that come on this sign. So I don't need a cable timeout. All right, now as I'm adding this, y'all think ahead. So when I go to add my sign, I'm looking at where is this going to lie? Am I going to put a bow somewhere? Am I going to use, so I'm always kind of thinking ahead my design, and I'm going to bring my ties, my twist ties away from my sign because I happen to know what I'm going to do around my sign. So I try to look at where this is going to attach and make sure that if I put something in this twist tie and this twist tie, what part of the sign may it may interfere with. So I try to look at all of that and go in between where needed. All right, so I'm going to turn this over. I put my pipe cleaners through the mesh, and now I'm going to take these and I'm going to attach it to the wire frame. So I'm going to wrap it around the wire frame and make it taut. I'm not going to pull it really tight because I don't want the sign to get sucked into the mesh. And if you have more than what you need, cut it off. Get rid of that. And then once we turn it over, we'll check how snug it is and make sure we didn't get it too loose or too tight. So right now I'll shake it and the sign's not moving. And I didn't get it so tight that it's like sucked into that mesh, but I do want to bring some of that mesh around. I'm going to pull it out just a little so it's kind of nestled in there. So on the back side, I just took this and tightened it down, and then any extra pipe cleaner I'll just snip off once I know it's in a good happy place. And tuck those back into the mesh. How stinking pretty. All right, now let's give it some character. So this is one of those that when you add a bow, because it does take up, I don't need a huge bow. I need a cute bow. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start by making a bow using this 2.5 inch black and white striped ribbon. And we'll bring out the trusty bow maker. And we don't need something super huge. So I'm going to do about 7-inch tails. And a 6-inch loop. And we're going to go this direction. We're going to go this direction. Then you'll also get both of these ribbon in the kit as well. This red metallic ribbon. It blends so well with the mesh, and this time I'm going to put my tail the opposite direction. Come out to my 6-inch mark. And we're going to do it again. I'm just going to repeat that exact thing. I'm going to do the 2.5 inch, but this time I'm going to do the 2.5 inch on the opposite side, the loop. And I'll go back and dovetail here in a minute. And I'm going to come in just a little bit smaller on my loop. So I'm just kind of alternating. Which one? Yeah. I'm going to use a very thin zip tie for this. Ugh. This is why I don't use zip ties very often, because they can they can take away my glory. Lord knows we don't need any of that. All right, so now I'm going to go back and give this a few dovetails. So it's not a real super thick bow. It's not overpowering, overcharging. And you know, when you use a zip tie, you can really get it tight and pull and tug, and that ribbon doesn't go anywhere. But when I do use a zip tie, I'll slide either a floral wire or, in this case, a pipe cleaner in between the ribbon and the zip tie before I tighten it completely down. All right, let's take our little guy, and he's going to go right up here, front and center. As soon as I trim off my zip tie, there we go. Go down through the mesh with your pipe cleaner. Or pipe cleaners, because I've got two pieces here to work with, one on each side, and I'm going to attach it to the frame just like I did the sign. So this is where I'm talking about. I'm in between these two twist ties. My bow went right smack in between them. So that's why watching where you place your sign makes a difference. Oh, how precious. All right, I'll turn this around so y'all can see the front view. There we go. All right. Now, we have 18 twist ties. We're actually going to take our red ribbon, and I'm going to cut, there's 8 twist ties around the top. 8 twist ties around the top. I'm going to cut 24-inch pieces. I'm going to cut 8 of them. You know what? Let me put my roll here so it doesn't slide away. So 24 inches, and we need 8 of them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, so now we've got 8 24-inch pieces, and what we're going to do with that is we are going to create a little bow. So I'm going to make a little breast cancer awareness ribbon. I'm going to bring that together and pinch it right in the center. Just make a little bitty cute bow with a little bitty tail. And we're going to put that in the twist ties. So I am going to add a bow all the way around bordering the sign. And they're going to be facing away from the sign. So we have that little bow tie and our tails. So I'm going to repeat that in all 8 of these. And see how that pink next to that red ribbon really makes the ribbon stand out as well. And the other one is underneath the bow here, and I'm going to put one there as well. That's truly optional for y'all if you're okay with the way it's covered by the bow. However, I like to give that little extra there. So it's all uniform. All right, 2 more to go around the top. All right, now we're going to take our 2.5-inch black ribbon, black and white stripe ribbon. We're going to make some ribbon tails about 13 inches long. And I only need 10 of them. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we're going to do the same thing with the pink or the red heart ribbon that has the pink gingham check background. We're going to cut 10 of those at 13 inches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, All right, so now I'm going to take one of each. I'm going to fold that in half to find my center point. And I'm going to pinch that together, or pleat it, I like to call it, and kind of make it into a little V shape. And I'm going to put that in the outer twist ties. So we're going to add one each to the outer one, and then we still will be adding our swirls. I love the fun swirls. So bend it in half, put it down inside the twist tie, again getting as close to the frame as possible. And we're just going to repeat, repeat, and repeat. All right, so the pink swirls, I'm actually dissecting. And I'm cutting them into 3 sections. And these are like made of foam. So they're a lot of fun, y'all. A lot of fun. And I am actually going to take one of these pink swirls and we're going to go up behind the bow, kind of right into that twist tie. So I'll be using this twist tie to help anchor it, but we're going to glue one end of it and put that right behind our bow. So I know Beth said, well, yeah, Beth said earlier she had trouble with her signs. Well, I know a lot of people have trouble with getting their bow to not shift around. You know, if you tie it too tight, you get it sucked into the mesh and then you can't see that beautiful bow. Well, this is a method by putting a little bit of glue on the end of it and tucking it underneath the bow. That will help anchor your bow and keep it from shifting around. So a little bit of glue. And they're all wired, so if you don't want them standing out away from, you can actually, you know, bend them back so they lay a little more flush. And then the third one, I'm actually going to cut off just a little bit more. Nope, I don't even have to. I'm going to leave it at the same length. And I'm going to go up underneath my bow. And I do not have a twist tie to put that one on. So plenty of glue. And there we have it. And there we have it. I have some pipe cleaners back here to trim from my bow. I attached it. Let's see if I can get a good shot there. I'll give you guys the 360 look, right? That 360 look. All right, y'all. I'll see you soon.